How you doing, Noel?
I'm good, James. I'm good.
Thanks for coming out.
And thank you for asking me.
You were on my mind to ask you for some time now because you don't smoke, do you know?
No.
God,
you're all right. You're all right.
Two shoe fuckers. It was the same, but he's got such a. There's a still calm quality about him, and you're like, I daren't even ask.
No, I don't smoke nor drink. No, I've got a bad habit, so.
Well, shut up.
I eat too much chocolate.
But you know what? The thing was, I have a golden rule, and it's there's no religion and no politics.
Perfect.
Well, it is and it isn't. It's kind of, I've put myself in a bubble now, I find.
Well, no, that's a good thing. I'll go along with whatever you want.
I basically said, fuck, I better get my head back in the game now.
No, I like it. I like the way you did it with Bill there now. It was very interesting.
Oh, he's very, he's a brilliant photographer.
Oh, I tell you, he's a gifted man.
He's a brilliant photographer. He showed me some of his photos. I should have left the camera running because he went down for like another hour afterwards.
Gifted man.
He's very gifted, and the photography is, it's very
very good, I tell you now. Very good.
There's water there for you.
Thank you.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Not at all. I'm delighted with the water because I'm going meeting someone after. So Bill asked called, so I know I'm having a coffee with him.
Your phone must be
busy, and I like it. I was in Tune now yesterday with a conference, so I had to go up there now when I got back today.
Yeah.
So that's why, and then I had a call to meet a girl about housing, and I did that on the way here out in Danmort. So I have that done, and I have a couple more in the Fermoy in the morning now.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's constant, is it?
Oh, constant. But I like it. Put yourself into it.
You're drawn to it or you're not, I feel.
You either like it or you don't like it. I think people that do it like me, they do. They're drawn for different reasons, but they do like it. I think if you don't like it, or if you have no one, you'll be off your game to do it. Fellas say that, yeah. I know fellas now that would say to you, I'm going to get into that game. And when they learn what's involved, or they find out what's involved, they change their mind. Yeah, they change their mind. Like, just Sharon, my partner, like you, Sharon, I said to Sharon on the weekend, we must go to I'm not going. I am not going.
Sensible.
So Friday night or Saturday, you'll be. But like, people mean well, and I think the pub trained me an awful lot for this type of a game I'm in. Because
communication and the reading.
Yes, and you must keep your cool as much as you can. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but I learned a lot from the I learned a lot from the.
But how did you get into the
politics? Yeah, good question. I'll tell you now. My late dad, he died in May, and God rest him. In May only this year, yeah. But
sorry to hear that, buddy.
Yeah, and thanks, James. But he was a great character. But it was a Labour man all his life in politics. Always was a Labour tradition. It was where I grew up around my brothers and sisters, my mother. It was a Labour house. But I never took politics that serious. I just respected my father's views. So, but then when I came to Fermoy, I had a pub. Around when I was selling the pub, I remember saying to someone, "Gee, I don't know about politics. I think we might need a public representative around here." I just thought Fermoy. I said, "Yeah, I'd like to help people. I like helping people and getting involved in different things." So I knew Sean Sherlock because of my dad in the Labour.
Yeah.
And Sean Sherlock kind of encouraged me in 2008, 2007, 2008. He said to me, "Geez, no, you'll be an ideal candidate. You know a lot of people. You're interesting and you're easy. You have a good personality."
Yeah.
And I took it from there, and I went into politics, and with Sean's encouragement and other people, I got elected first of all in 2009. And
getting elected must be a buzz.
It was a great buzz. I didn't know a lot about it because
you're like all day.
Yeah. And like even the people with me, like Sharon, and a few people, what's getting elected? Like what's all this fuss about? But when you go to your first count and when your name is there and you see that, God almighty, you have a chance here, or you're putting your name. And I really admire people that, like, whether they get elected or not, I think the most important thing you must have is respect for people, no matter what party, no matter what point of view they have.
Yeah.
But putting your name on a ballot sheet is a huge thing.
Without
a doubt. And I respect everyone that does it because they do it for some reason, whatever reason it is, and if they get elected, fair play to them. And a lot of people might get elected the first go, but they come back the second again, and because they get the buzz from the first one, and they'd come again.
They get to figure it out, I suppose. The experience.
Yeah, the experience. So I have great admiration. I was a novice, as we'll call it, in 2009. I put my name down for the local. That time there was Fermoy Town Council,
right?
I put my name in for Cork County Council as well, because at that time you could be a dual councillor. You could represent the town as a local councillor and Fermoy Town Council, and you could go into the county council, which involves the Fermoy district, which it still is, would be Fermoy, Mitchellstown and surrounding village you'd be representing. So I was lucky enough to get the first seat in 2009 in Fermoy, and I got 820 40 something votes, which I was fascinated, and I thought that. And then I got the third seat then in the county, where I got over 2,000 votes. So it was absolutely first go. But again, I wouldn't have did it without a lot of help from a lot of people, including Sean Charlotte Noel, which I must keep mentioning, because and I want to wish him well, because he's stepping down, as you know, the last couple of months he's announced that. But he's stepping down, and fair play to him. You know, he did a lot of good things, and he started me in politics, so I appreciate that very much.
Well, that's. But see, I got a little what's the word? Disenfranchised by politics, because I just, you keep hearing. What I see, and it's always national, because they always conquer the media thing, but it's always like, you know, you nearly, well, my dad was in this party and now I'm in this party.
Yes.
And it's the guys in the party and the people voting for the party. It seems to be always that kind of thing, and I'm like, that's not the way it should work. It's surely a bit of God.
No, and you're right, and people, like, I never try to persuade anyone of their whatever the way they want to go. I'd be trying to go up and canvass them, of course, whenever there's elections, say, listen, would you consider me? And a lot more people, like you described now, the old ways of politics, changing now an awful lot. People, I find the younger people are from the 40 down or the 45 down, have their own mind. And would ask you a lot more questions.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, and would ask you a lot more. Why are you putting your name forward? What will you do for me, or what will you do for the town, or what can you do?
And do they keep it local, or do they go, what about your man up in Dublin?
I think that, and that's a very good question as well, because I find once I went for national politics, I went to be a TD, which I wasn't successful, but it's a different ball game compared to local, because local is what it is. Local elections is local topics.
I think that's true democracy, local though.
Yes, and people people will admire you. They mightn't be your party, or they mightn't be your way of thinking in national politics, but if you're good doing something local.
That's why I voted for you the first time round, because it was like, he's everywhere, he's talking to everyone, and he's fucking doing whatever he can for everyone who's onto him. And that's what you want.
And that's what I like doing. But I must get one thing in there. I don't take everything right every time. I never.
Who does?
And I make mistakes. And to this day, James, and I mean this sincerely, if anyone's listening, I'm on my 15th year in politics.
That's unreal.
And I'm still learning. And I still make mistakes. And I'm the first one to put my hand up and say, listen, I got that wrong, or I didn't do it right. But you learn, and you can't get everything right, like you said a while ago. But I've learned a lot in my years in politics. I learned. Do you know what the most important thing I learned was, in all my time, and my mother asked me this lately, what have you learned in politics, Noel? To listen. To be to be a good listener means a lot, because sometimes people just want to get stuff off their chest.
Sometimes it's hard for them to get to that stage.
And if they're telling you, they might give out to you, they might say something nasty to you, but at the end of the day, they don't mean it, because they're suffering in some way. Yes, and with the system, with what they've gone through, and there's a lot of red tape, and I deal with it every day of the week, and sometimes common sense.
Is it administration? I mean, there's a thing in my dummy head that it's like, you have your government and all that entails, but then behind them there's like this constant administration that's kind of, no one knows who they are, no one knows what they're at, but they seem to be doing whatever the fuck they want.
That in some ways it does happen, but there's some very good people there as well. I've learned that both in the local ones and sometimes nationally. There's some people do very good jobs. Maybe they mightn't agree with the person that's coming to them asking for the voice, or the voice mightn't be what the person wants to hear. But there is good people in, as I call them, the executive board of Cork County Council, in Fermoy Town Council I was there, in Cork County Council, and even nationally there's good people as well. There is in every walk of life.
It's really, if you have to go into that for whatever reason, like say I have to go and maybe seek you out and say, listen, Noel, can you help me? Before I even do that, and anyone does it, I think what they need to do is take 5.
Yes.
Take a fucking deep breath.
And
tune into a receptive state of mind.
And
otherwise you go in there, listen, why aren't you fucking helping me? Why is that guy down there doing this? And you go fucking crazy.
And they don't realise that person that they're asking me to make a representation are people like me in my doing the same thing. My colleagues in Cork County Council or deputies or TDs, where they don't realise they're asking people that mightn't have can't give them what they want, or only can go halfway to what they want. But because sometimes there's a budget, and we all hear about budgets. But if one person goes in for something that they know that can't be got, but they still think they can get it, and they'll try people like me, my colleagues. They could try. There's 6 in the MD here. They could try the 6 of us. For the 6 of us to ask the same question to that executive, engineer, district officer, and the district officer or the engineer, whether it be roads, whether it be housing, will give the same of us the 6 answers, or go to a TD, and they just can't sometimes take no. There must be a way.
Deluded optimist.
Yeah, there must be a way, and they're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people say to you, no, sure, look, I'll try A, B or C. And you can see sometimes, and I'm even thinking, geez, if A, B and C gets it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to look to it, which sometimes happens, you know.
You're sharp. Keep you on your toes.
But people do, but the young people I find the young people now that, they look at politics in a complete different way. Local-wise, they know that if a local person is doing good for their local area, or good for their town, or good for their village, they'll support that person. Or they'll look at it and they'll say, well, yeah, my local man did well, but he got support from someone else, so I'll give him a vote as well, or 2 or 3. So people are definitely learning. There is definitely party politics still there, but not as much as it was.
Because I think when I went in there, you're going in there with the intention, I'm going to vote for himself. But then there's you have to hit smaller marks.
Yes.
And I'm go looking for thunder, man. I just who are you? And
but you might read about him, and you might read about something that
I'd be hoping to find something
on him that he did something.
Like you get something, and it's just a media puff piece where they're not themselves, and some of them don't really come out too good. And it's probably no fault of their own.
But that's the idea.
Attacking no.
Sometimes
they come. You're like, I can't trust this person.
There's something about him. What I've learned over the 15 years nearly now is that everyone I've worked with, be it different parties, my colleagues, they all have good intentions. There's no doubt about that.
Road to hell.
Good intentions. But their good intentions and my good intentions or my other person might be going in a different, branching off in a different way. Who's right or wrong?
Well, when you've lots of people, what's the saying? You can't please all the people all the time. You can't please some of them.
But I look, since I started, I'm a Cove man originally, as you know, but I love Fermoy. I actually love.
I love Fermoy too, but it's such a beautiful town just to walk around and walk on the outskirts of it. Even it's a beautiful town.
It is.
5 minutes.
We have great.
Think you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you have great surrounding areas as well.
And to go kayaking down the river is awesome.
No, I never did it. I don't think I'll fit into a kayak. But
trust me, you're missing out, buddy. It's the most tranquil thing. You're floating under the viaduct.
My son Ross did a bit of it. Alright, he said it was fantastic, but. It wasn't for me. I don't think I get into the boat.
A lot of people think when you mention kayaking that it's like whitewater rafting and all of that jazz, and it's not. It's
relaxing, I suppose. Relaxation.
Well, it's a bit of both. When you're coming back against the current, you're going to work for it. But I like that. I like that burning feeling, because when you get home, have showered and the coffee. When you're having the coffee, you just. It's like any workout, I suppose. But I haven't got time to do it. But speaking of water, having a tough time with floods, no?
Looking for my James, very lucky, and you know better from growing up in Fermoy, the floods. I'm in Fermoy 25, 26 years. I heard a lot about Fermoy and the flooding before I came here. Saw it firsthand then. People suffered a lot. And had very bad experiences, and you always think of them because you see what happened in Middleton. But we're very lucky in Fermoy. We spent 40 million, 37 or 38 million on flood defences both north and south. I came into politics in 2009 when I started on the north side, and we finished on the south side, started the south side in 2012, all completed. But I always remember the flood, I think it was 2015, 2016, where I never saw the water so high in Fermoy, and the flood barriers were up and worked, and we hadn't a drop of water, and that was a huge... That was the 40 million meant so much. It did its job, and we had one bad experience since there was a problem at a pump house in 2018, 2019, and small bit of flooding and a small bit of damage to some premises in Brainborough Square. But that was a fault of the system, not the barriers not working. Yeah. But
there was I don't know if you remember, he was a barber in Fermoy. What was his name?
Tommy Baker?
Yeah, he's
Dr. Mersim, yeah.
Fantastic photos.
Oh, right? Tommy
B. There's one photo in there, black and white, when the river was up as far as, I think, the railing of the Protestant church.
Heat.
That's
Tommy was Tommy's a great Fermoy man, and love Fermoy, and I think everyone would associate Tommy with the River Blackwater and Burnane, and and having a swim and walking, and always had anyone that wanted to find out nothing about the river. Tommy was their protocol.
He had a wall in that barber place, man. It was a history book.
Yeah,
and there was so much on it.
And in his head, he had a lot of knowledge. He was a good man, and
very good.
Yeah, and very popular. When he passed away, he had a great love for Fermoy.
But it is a beautiful town. But unfortunately for me, again, I'm just.
You're right. Yeah,
I go in there now, and it's like. See, I start thinking, I might sound like my father now. And like everyone, do they get to a stage where they're thinking, I'm sounding like my father?
Yeah, people do that. Yeah.
Because I'm like, this used to be better, like even fucking 20 years ago.
Right.
It had more vitality to it.
Right.
It seems like there's a lot of empty shops in there, and it's ugly. There's no attempt to make it even look, inviting.
I don't know. Like, to me, since I went into being representing Fermoy and for my MD and the town, I always said this in my mind, always talk positively about the town you represent, and I always do, even though there's faults or things you could do better, but I always try to talk about what we have first, and what we have in Fermoy is, number one is, we have fantastic people living in Fermoy. They could sort the dirt as far as I'm concerned. We have also great schools, so like, what I mean by that is the school secretary and national schools know better. And the most important thing, James, we have is that as well, is that like the amount of people, you're from my base, I blew in because I'm over here 20 years being a coalman, but there's other people that set up their home here for Fermoy.
Oh yeah.
And if you ask them what brought them to Fermoy, this is the secret of it. The secret that brought them to Fermoy was, it's a beautiful place to live, a beautiful place to bring up a family.
Yes, very important.
We have crime, but nothing in a high scale, and I don't mean that I hope people won't start now, but we're very well. Like, there is problems here, there is incidents that happen, but overall, you have a very good place to live in Fermoy. And another thing, which is huge to Fermoy, when you raise a family and your kids are growing up to teenagers, we've great sporting facilities with the best in around.
Saturday morning, the young fellas starting
there you go. And Kilworth is super, and Rathcormac is super. But in Fermoy, I always say to people, we're so lucky. You could leave your 13-year-old or your 14-year-old, and whatever part of Fermoy you live in, and they could say to their parents, listen, I'm going to the J Club. Stay in the Pat Love and you'll be safe. Because the J Pitch is in the middle of our town. Fantastic club. The soccer club is in the middle of our town. Fantastically run. With great facilities. Rugby, the Loretta Convent, St. Coleman's amenity.
That's unbelievable.
Our swimming pool.
Yeah.
We have everything in the centre of our town. That are the positive things for me.
Yeah.
But you're right. There is dereliction in some parts of the town. But there is...
For investing in future businesses, you'd be thinking, if someone could just make an effort to tidy up the building.
Yeah, it's a thing we try to do in the council an awful lot. We try to encourage people that own buildings and that are left, even private people that have houses in the main street. There's a painting scheme which is going for the last 6 or 7 years in the municipal district. Whereas if the owner, and they're doing it this year as well, a lot of them take advantage of it, would want to say, listen, I want to get a painting scheme. There's money there, so you fill in you get your quote for your painter, put it in through an application, and if you can get up to £1,000 from the council to help you paint your building, and that's there all the time for people to do. Like there's some places in Fermoy this year now that are derelict, but through my role in the Tidy Towns, we're encouraging them to say, listen, let the Tidy Towns make the application for you. Let's get, and we'll get the funding and we'll get it painted. It does make an awful difference.
It makes a huge difference, you know what I mean?
But we have a good town, I
think so, I always thought so. I mean, the reason I bring it up was, like I said, like you say, like, be positive about what you have. And I see what we have, but I see what we've lost as well.
And I can understand that. You know better, because
what the fuck happened with the weir? Where's the hotel?
No, great, great, and you know something?
For a town that big, should have a fucking hotel.
And I'm glad you asked me that question. And I'm only giving you my opinion. It might be the right opinion.
We're just talking.
But it might be. It mightn't be the right opinion, but my opinion of all this, you have to ask yourself why. And we've tried. Both councillors have tried hard to encourage hoteliers and developers to build a hotel. I think we're an ideal site up in the Idea Park, Crossmember. There's an ideal site because you're 3 minutes from the motorway. So you'll be 2 hours from Dublin. 3/4. It won't be flooded. 3/4 of North McCarthy Airport. We have everything going for us.
But that's a super location.
It's a super location.
There's nothing happening in there at the moment.
No, and again, that's disappointing. That's one of the disappointing things that we haven't got it. But
it's all about timing. It's all time, isn't it?
But if we can get a hotel, we need. But it needs to be financially viable as well, and that's the big problem. So we've spoken to hoteliers and we've spoken to developers, and what they're saying is, look, at the moment, Fermoy wouldn't be financially viable. And I was stunned with that reply. I was stunned because I said, joke. But they're saying, and this is their answer back to us, was, look, we're 25 minutes from Cork on the motorway. There's some hotels in Cork half empty during the week. So why would a developer build a hotel costing 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 million, looking for a hotel group to take it on that has to make money, has to make a profit? And they're saying at the moment Fermoy wouldn't be. We've only a population of 6,000. We're not really a tourist town.
Like it's after blown up.
It does, but that's all we have. Surrounding areas are probably have another 1 or 2, but that's all we have. So, and we're 25 minutes from hotels.
You pointed out a number of things there early on where I consider them all to be strengths, attractions even. A lifestyle that should attract something.
But you see what they'll tell you. No, don't get me wrong. It's a huge loss to the town.
It is.
But if we have any hope of getting a hotel back again, I think we need to get back to the hotel that was there before. It wouldn't cost the money to build one or to start off a new hotel, which would be 4 million. If we can get one we had back, renovated to a high standard, maybe have the 12 or 15 bedrooms, get it, a good restaurant, a good bar, we'd survive. Because I think if you go down to towns like us, that's what they have in towns their size. Maybe a bit bigger, 30 or 40
bedrooms. But the river
bedrooms.
going through, I mean, I can remember maybe 10 years old, 8, 9, 10, the amount of tourists from all over the world that were fishing on the black water. And because I remember he got this, I thought it was a rattlesnake, a big eel he got.
Yeah. They love it, like.
I mean, it was a big deal. It was Americans, Germans, French, English, all the way down. And it was packed, like, the competitions and stuff.
Yeah, they loved it for my... But, like, I suppose society has changed too, and we have a lot of changes. As you know, I had a pub for 12 years in Fermoy. Like, I was there from, as I call them, the good times. Hard now, 95 to 2006, 11 years.
Oh, you were in the golden age.
The golden age, and my good friend Tom Ahern bought her off me, and Tom is still doing very well in all the pubs you love seeing her do it.
A hell of an effort.
He's superb, you know what I mean? And all the public is in Fermoy make great efforts, but it's not their fault, and it's because of the way the thing. What's happening was, and I suppose some people say it's for good, but drinking and driving is a huge thing, and the morning after is a huge thing now.
Yeah.
So if you're going out, want to go tonight, be it a Thursday night for a few pints, and you're heading for your work in the morning at 8 o'clock,
if I'm out tonight, you'd see Wednesday maybe.
That's it, and that wasn't there in them times.
No.
Whether it was good or bad, I don't know. Then you have the price of drink, you have our society, but things have changed. No, when there's no a king on like a party, like an occasion, there's no better place to be than a pub, because
course, yeah.
with the matches now with Ireland playing in the rugby, the atmosphere in every pub all over the town, in this town and everywhere else, all over the country, was second to none.
Yeah.
And people love the buzz of that, but it's going to get the buzz. You could have the buzz before from Thursday to Friday,
but
the buzz now might be restricted to Friday, Saturday or Sunday. If you're lucky at that. And things have changed.
Now it's like if we have a house party, yes. But that's as far as but I've been in the pub and I don't know how long.
And things have changed, and that's what's happened, and that's the change. Like, I remember someone saying to me 25 years ago, because I have an off licence now, as you know. Geez, off licence, how come to come in?
I saw that, and you put up with that. That's very good.
Graham Norton, super. But I said to myself, 25 years ago, a fella said to me, before I ever got involved in off licence, I had a pub. A fella said to me, a good man here had a pubs himself, said to me, no off licenses are going to come in. I said, you're dreaming. You're dreaming. My God, he was ahead of the time.
Big time.
And he knew it. He said he saw it in Germany and other places. I said to him, Ireland will never be like that. We're going to be drinking at home culture rather than good. But it's now gone in that way, and I could never see that happen. You know, and it has.
I think the only
for
time
different
I
reasons.
go to a pub now is probably in the summertime.
Hmm?
You know, you have I'd say this last 2 years it's been the funkiest weather. It's been wet as fuck. Like, the winters are not as icy, but
climate change, is it, or whatever it is? I don't know.
Climate change is an obvious and known thing. It's the fact. My problem with climate change is the arrogance of man thinking he can fucking do anything about it. Idiot. Can't even fucking fix potholes on the main road. When it comes to climate change, I'm a big believer that there is, of course, climate change, but you gotta get it into perspective, like. There's proper people who aren't politically affiliated, and that's why they're not being listened to. This is their thing, and
they're not being saying this is how you do it.
What's with the drama? There's no need for it.
Just do the right thing.
I have it in my. I've spent too much time by myself.
Right.
In my mind, I see governments becoming less and less powerful when you've the likes of the owners of Google, Facebook, and all these ridiculous money that they have, the power that they have,
and influence.
What's that other crazy cracker over there? The fucking Economic Forum crowd.
Oh yes, they have big pull.
They should be pulled out and arrested. They're corrupting governments and they're going out admitting such. Look at Canada. Is that where we're going?
I hope not. Yeah.
Why? I'd be at home thinking, like, you know, maybe I have too much coffee, and I'm thinking, why does someone shoot someone? As Roy Keane says, if I'm having a bad day, I just feel I should get in there and just crash it, just get a reaction. Because it seems like this stalemate, nearly the unsilent majority or the silent majority. It's the finger has to be pointed there sooner or later. Why aren't you doing something? Because everyone's we're above violence. Violence got you what you have in the first place to build this.
Build up your
Don't be under that can come back in a heartbeat. And I just going on some of the because I don't want to be one of these guys who put stuff up on the internet ranting and raving when I have no facts. And then
a lot of people do that.
Because I have to look at this. This is how I look at it. Goes, okay, there's a lot of noise about this. And then I find I getting agitated. And goes, what am I getting agitated for? Because I'm believing all this crazy. So, right, look for facts. And then can I affect anything here in reality? No. But fuck it. All I know is I gotta get up in the morning, I gotta go to work.
And do a bit.
I gotta pay the fucking kids. I gotta do what I gotta do. And try to knock a bit of crack out of it, you know what I mean? I know, and that's
get not easy.
Get in here and have the laugh, you know. I tell you,
I like what you do here, it is very well done.
It's very relaxing.
Very well done. You're just like you're having a normal conversation in a pub.
Yes, exactly. Or at the kitchen table.
It's lovely.
And it's like, you know what we need from my archery club.
Archery club.
I got into archery last year. We were out in Barncourt. There's a club out there. I was the Galtee Archery Club.
And we have a lot of clubs in
but you know what the thing is, if you're going to have an archery club,
you need a bit of space and country.
Well, you need woods. So you can have club competitions at least twice a year. Because that then would kind of finance the club.
Yes.
So it'd be self-sufficient.
So Barncourt is the nearest one to here.
Barncourt's the nearest one to here. And then you've Cork. There's one but that's an indoor kind of Olympic kind of thing. Whereas Barncourt is like
out in the open.
Man, it's brilliant.
And you enjoy it. Look at all the different sports we have in mind. Basketball, we have great squash players, we have a load of people, handball, racquetball, We're very good sportsmen here in Fermoy.
Very good, but it's like I keep picking up the weird ones, but I love the fucking archery. I mean, for me now, at the end of the week, because herself is in it now as well, but because of the kids and we've no babysitters,
right.
Junior's like
To come with you, yeah.
fucking spastic.
Yeah.
So they're locked in. So she'll go one night and I'll go, and not when we were doing the club thing, but I kind of didn't bother renewing my club for
right.
because I don't have to know, because if I'm signed up with the governing body for insurance purposes,
yeah, you're covered.
I can go to all the shoots.
Yeah.
They'll have it's like a club competition.
Yeah.
And you
enjoy that.
Sharpen yourself up, like, and you get your distances down. I was at the national championships down in Brody there during September. Fucking awesome 2-day event.
Loved it.
I think I came 5th. Not too bad. Not too shabby. First big competition. But this year, man, I'm already, the clock is ticking. I'm like, you got to be better.
Yeah,
I got a cool target out there now. When it stops fucking raining,
and you can walk away.
I can practice away here.
But that's very good. I love seeing people having an interest in something. Sport is
you know what? When you meet the people who go there, they're fucking super.
And they're friends.
I've had loads come in here.
Yeah, they're friends.
There's this magazine is Tiffan. It's let me get this right now. The Irish Field Archery Magazine Monthly.
Oh jeez, I never heard of that.
Brilliant.
And they love it.
Oh yeah. They had their own festival there now recently, a celebration.
And is there any hope of getting any place in Fermoy to do our surrounding areas? Might be a better idea.
I said I'd look into it once I'm maybe 2 or 3 years in.
Yeah,
and this will be the start of my second year now, I think in September. Or no,
yes.
September. We're in the second year now, so that'll end in September next year, we'll say. And then I'll be looking around, see if I can talk some farmer to let us use it.
Get a bit
ideally, what you want is a farm that's not being, or a woodland that isn't being harvested.
Yes, and not being public walkways or anything like that. Yeah, you're just being there,
so
and you can
set up your whole and then that's it.
Yeah,
walk away. Just bring people.
Come back when you want.
A couple of weeks, and then in the summer months, then
maybe
2 or 3 times a week and go up for
great
practice.
Idea. And I said there's locations here for that if we only look around.
Exactly, because there's a lot of woodlands in the area, like.
And we're a great horsey area as well.
We are, great horsey especially. I was up there now chasing around. I am scared shitless of horses, but I love them. I paint them, but I'd be up there trying to get photos and film. I haven't been there now since COVID, but it's a trail in itself. I'm the retard going through like this with the camera, and I'm not trying to take a photo and paint a photo. That's not what I'm there for. But I could get 300 or 400 photos in a few hours, and I'd fuck them all up onto Facebook. And those folks that are there in the photo, they love
them. Love that.
And it's like
they're part of it. Then
they can download them for free. Like I'm not selling them because if I get what I want, and all I want is the anatomy. If the horse looks that way, what happens here?
Yeah, you get the
muscle
picture
effect, and so I can add some bit of realism to. I don't want to do a photo. I want to.
How long will it take you to paint one of them, then, James?
Can't say. It could be 3 weeks. It could be 3 months.
Yeah, you just have whatever you feel like.
If I just fall in love with it.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
I'm home and host.
Yeah.
But this fucker over here, I've been working on that for.
Who is this?
That's the 3rd attempt, and it's looking very likely that it'll get scraped again.
Who is this supposed to be?
I was doing a stone job for a lady in Glamworth, and her husband's father. That's him. He's passed away, and they all was painting of him. So she asked me to do.
And did she see that?
No, she hasn't seen it that far along. See, I don't want to be sending her too much because she'll be thinking, "Is today the day it's finished?" Looks she's getting very.
It looks good to me.
I'll tell you this. He's there. I can see him there, even though I haven't met him. But going on the photo she sent me, I can kind of see him there.
Well, it's good. It's good. You're nearly there.
I'm nearly there.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll keep bashing out and I get there. But
and I love your Jack Daniels poster with the pool tables.
I got them off the brother David. He bought a pool table there last year, and all these little things came with him. He said they might. But I said, "This isn't a fucking pub, buddy. This is called. It was initially called the Art Studio, but now it's called the Blackbird." But even at that, I mean, like I have little knickknacks that some people bring stuff. Some people.
Yeah, I'm going to get you something.
I find stuff.
I'm going to get you something for the pub, and I'm going to try to get something. I have something stuff inside.
Because I mean, eventually what I'd like to have going is to have a main camera kind of just in front of the light there off the ceiling.
Right.
And then I'll have maybe 2 smaller ones there. Then I can have a 3-way. Like, say when you start talking, it'll zoom to you.
Yes.
And when I'm talking and when we're talking, like...
It'll go on the both of us.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That way then it'll pick up more of the studio as well and give people more of an insight.
No, it's very good, very well done.
But you gotta just go with it.
But yeah, that's my take on it for my... And you mentioned Graham Norton a while ago.
Yeah.
You know, we like...
Pray tell.
It was so upset. It was upsetting. I felt upset about it.
I thought the fucking bitch. Who the fuck is she? Thinks she's talking to?
And like some people said on the Facebooks and said, it's just one people's opinion.
Did you ever see her? Yeah.
Never saw her. No, and heard a bit about her since the incident happened. But like the thing that really upset me was she was opening a national TV.
But clearly, she's
there was something wrong. But look, what I was really delighted was we got the apology.
And what's her nationality?
She's Scottish.
Maybe she was pissed off because we
think
the boys.
Yeah, that's it. That could be that. But I think what happened was she had a bad experience, whatever it was, romantic or whatever it was, and she just. But her comments about Fermoy being horrible, and her comments about the bridge were really bad. But I think we said,
What was she saying about the bridge? Because I kind of, once I just heard horrible, I said you ugly.
She said about the bridge. That's the place just to jump off of, which we never really went into on TV or on the radio.
Absolutely reckless.
It was very low, very low.
It's reckless.
Good luck. Graham Norton gave us the apology, put Fermoy on the map.
Well, Graham Norton, he's the dude.
Look, he mentioned Fermoy last week, and he finished off by saying up Fermoy. And I mean, where would you get that in 3 million people here?
He's as Irish as it gets. I know he's been there all his life practically, but he's still.
He's well got to. He's good. It's a great show. And the guest, look at the guest seat on last week. Sure, he had John Collins, was it Patrick Stewart and Ralph Fiennes? Fiennes, one of the fellow English patient. He was in there.
Oh yeah, Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah. Super actors and actresses, some good singer as well. Like, for them to be listening, and they were laughing about Fermoy.
Yeah, that's who knows? On the way home, they could Google it.
They never probably. but this, like Joan Collins is an icon. Like she's, and she's. I think she's nearly 90. Is she? If she's not far off. But like for her to hear. Did she ever hear Fermoy before? Till that day?
There's been a lot of lads from Fermoy went further afield.
Yeah, it was like...
And they always represent well.
And that's what we felt by defending the town of Fermoy through the tidy towns and through people contacting me saying, look, no, we can't leave this go. I put in I really wanted to say that we had to get an apology. And we got it.
I think so. And you
got it. Yeah, and it was when I feel very proud that we did get it.
Yeah.
And as I say, it gave Fermoy the right positivity at the end, and that's what it was all about.
Well, look, regardless, my gripes are minor, and they're nothing to do with the people. They're more to do with, on a business fashion.
Yeah.
How can we make it more, whatever, says the fellow who never goes through anymore. But, like I said, I'm turning a new leaf. Looking back at trying
but Fermoy will get better. I think Tesco will definitely come. I think about 100%. Yeah,
most people from Miami are Mitchell's down Tesco. Hey, but
and there's nothing wrong with that either. But we hope that the Fermoy people that go out to Mitchellstown will stay in Fermoy.
I have no doubt.
And again, other people have said to me that because I publicly support any new shops or new industry or new businesses coming to the town, I think you have to. It's all about footfall. But then some people say to you, you're leaving down the established business. Yeah, but to me, you're not, because I have a business myself in the town. Of course, Tesco are going to take some of my business, but it's up to me. And every business owner that have extra people come to the town, which they will, to try to draw them to your shop. Exactly.
See, a lot of people are sitting on their lawns, this inherited notion of, well, my mammy and daddy ran the business for a little, and it was great. And it's like, you're going to sink the boat with that attitude.
Yeah, and you must think outside the box.
You have to.
And if you have a business like Tesco, I think is going to do very well. It's going to bring people, not just from people that are going to Mitchelstown now, but I think they'll bring people in from the Ballyduffs, from the Lismores and all these places, and Kilworth, which only you have an opportunity then that if they go to that shop to try to get him to your other shops in the town, or have a cup of coffee, have a pint, have a meal, go to my off license, go to someone else's shop. That's what it's all about.
There's still a lot of balancing to be filled out in we'll say, the geography of the town.
Yes.
But I've seen it coming. I mean, it's balancing out nicely.
It is.
It used to be all to the other side.
No. There's some very good business.
There's a lot of muscle.
There's a lot of good business in both sides of the town.
Yeah, it's balancing out nicely.
A lot of people criticise us for giving planning for the outside, like we call the petrol stations or service stations on the outside of town, and keeping them out. But again,
that's more for the motorway.
That's
really,
more for
isn't it?
There's probably one or two in the town, but then they're good for the town. They give good employment. But it's up to, again, if you go into the likes of these service stations that are both north of the town or south of the town, it's up to the people who overshop to say, listen, I'll go in further on, I'll go in there. So
yeah,
and they're in every town. So you must.
Yeah, and I've been in that situation when I was working up in Dora on the Dora Castle Hotel. We were working on a stone extension to it years ago. But I got lost at the start of that job, more ways than you can imagine, on the way home. And I'd go into this thing off the motorway, and like that there'd be a garage, but then there's a town maybe. So I thought I'll go for
exactly. That's what I think.
Hot in the bed before I hit the road.
But that's where people sometimes forget that, like, for the town to prosper and for the town to develop, you need to get the best businesses.
You need friction.
Exactly.
You need competition.
You need competition to footfall. And we have a good footfall at the moment, but we can double it and triple it if we get the right people to come into town. People say we should have got Dunn Stores. It's grand to say that, but Dunn Stores must want to come as well.
Yeah.
Back there was a time when I think they wanted to come, and there was the flood plan, it wasn't there, and so on. So you can see it, but all them things now have been addressed.
Yeah.
So if we can, like, one of the other good things about Fermoy as well is, and people forget this, when you come into Fermoy and you come in, I know people give out about traffic, and we'll get to that in a different stage, but when you come into Fermoy, we have great car parks in the centre of the town. You have the library car park, you have the Mac car park, you have the Mill Island car park, all in walking distance to our town.
No, that's excellent. I can't imagine that.
With €1 charge to park your car for the whole day in 3 of them car parks.
Super value, massive car park as well, and
Aldi's and all great, and fair play. So we have. Then people give out to us about the traffic congestion, but the town of Fermoy is different to any other town, because in a lot of towns, one, we have the N72 going through our town, which is a national road, so from Rosslare to Clarny, which you have to have. They come through that where there's trucks or cars or people going, so we have to have. That's one problem. But then the second problem is when we built the new bridge, which was a great advantage. It was great to do,
slip road.
But there was no slip road.
How did that come to pass?
It was just what happened was, and like a lot of people would say, should the politicians of the day, because what happened in 2002, it wasn't their fault. They fought their hardest for it. But what happened was, when the Cork County Council in the regional planning had the on and off in Fermoy, but the direct route, who were going to get the responsibility of the motorway obviously had to make money, and the unfortunate thing was they wanted to put the toll where it is now in Watergrass Hill, but they didn't want anyone coming off from Fermoy, and that's why they on and off, so they could make more money. Whereas then Bord Penala overturned the decision of Cork County Council and said, no, there's going to be no on and off there, you drive on. So the advantage of, so the only way you could come off Fermoy then was on an interchange in Corran, or you could come into the town from Moore Park.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go over the new bridge and you wanted to come into Fermoy on the south side, you had to go off of Corran, which was costing you $150. Now it is $210. Yeah. So Fermoy suffered. So what people do now at the moment, and like I've seen this publicly at meetings, half the traffic, definitely more than quarter of that traffic going through our town, has no other reason going through the town only to avoid the toll. Because they avoid the toll by coming through the centre of Fermoy, up McCurtain Street, out to Cork Road, into Racamock, all the way up to Watergrass Hill, where they join the motorway again at the other side of the toll.
Fuck up the roads.
And feck up the town of Fermoy, because the volume is unreal.
When you're on the street, you can feel the vibration.
And a lot of people, as one good friend of mine says, and in medical practice, he said, the fumes can't be good for you.
No.
So
that's the foundation on all those old buildings as well.
Yeah, and even us in the tiny towns, our flowers are destroyed. And I hear Paul Kavanagh, our project manager, was saying that it does more damage to us flowers in the square off the diesel and off the fumes. Yeah. So Fermoy is unlucky in that sense that we have that problem. Now, other people have said it's good because if you are coming through the town and you want to stop, you've done people that will never come through the town. But it's definitely congestion where we don't deserve, especially at peak times, be it mornings for school, evenings for school, or going to work. And one example of what happened during the week and last week was Richmond Hill. There was work's been done in it, so it was closed a few days. And that Richmond Hill is vital to as a a diversion. So when that diversion wasn't there, the town blocked up. And we'll have it again Christmas now.
I hate going here for Christmas.
But that's the problem. And you said a word now that upsets a lot of business people in town.
I don't give up.
I know, not your fault.
Yeah,
but not your fault, because that's what the business people are saying. I hate, and then what happens is they won't come.
Yeah,
and that's a huge. Like, I had one a businessman ring me during the week. Said, "No, I had the worst 2 days of my life, Monday and Tuesday. There was no one coming in at Richmond." I said, and he was right. He was telling the truth. He said, "I've already got," but I have no answers from him because we're stuck in this situation. Richmond Hill being closed. So one problem with Richmond Hill, the traffic backed up to a place where you were inside in the car and you were saying, "I'm going to collect my child, I'm going to go into Super Value, I'm going to go into Lidl, or I'm going to go up to somewhere in town to get something," and you're 20 minutes trying to get over the bridge. Well, you won't come in the next day then. 25. And that's generous. Could be one person taught me.
An hour to get through from my.
One fella taught me it took him half an hour to get from the President Church to up by my place.
And who do you go to say, "Listen, sort this out"?
We brought it up at a meeting, would you believe, last Tuesday week, or MD meeting. One of my colleagues had a thing in saying, "Listen, can we get the on and off again?" And I said at the meeting, as long as we're in the situation we're in, where direct route are making a profit to pay for the investment of the motorway, of the M8, we have it, and that's supposed to go on till after 2030. There's no way they're going to allow us, or allow the government, or allow any Cork County Council to put an on and off there. Please God, in years to come, when that motorway, I think, will be well paid for. Well, we can get the
about doing up in Dublin, and
it's still there.
Did we give it back to one that's paid for, and they just raised the prices?
But that's what we're facing, James. That's the problem. And like, if fellas say, "Oh, we'll get it," we won't get it.
So who's in charge? The government aren't in charge.
The government would be in charge, but if you give a contract, which they did, the Minister of Transport or the Transport Authority gave a contract to Direct Route to see these people paid for that motorway. They invested in the construction of it, and their deal back was that they'd charge a toll on that for
a small number of people.
Yes,
financial gain, wreck businesses all over.
Yes, so we're unlucky. We're only one or two towns that has been suffered this way. Every other town you go back where there's a bypass, it's an advantage. In Fermoy, people would disagree with me, but I think it's a disadvantage because no, it's not always a disadvantage, but at the same time, Fermoy Town is suffering in a couple of different ways because we're told. And Rackcomic as well. It must have been Rackcomic is included in that. You have to, if you're dividing the toll, you have to go through the village of Rackcomic. Or come back through the
because it's from colourful gap. That's fucking getting bigger.
And telling you what it is, and it's a fine village, but a lot of people now that are living there from Cork, I suppose they set up the home there. They're only 20 minutes from where they're living. Kilworth a lot.
Working in Cork, moved to Kilworth.
And from
the best of both worlds.
James, I must nearly go. I say because I have another thing. How did it go?
It's super. Loads there now. You can chop it up and put on frying pan.
Will you send me the link?
I will, of course. It'll probably be...
No hurry. I'm going to get you something. I have a couple of them spare ones inside for you here.
Don't fire them out to me.
I'm going to get them.
Go up.
I'm going to get them.
Pride in place.
I think I love it. And I love this. I really enjoyed it.
Good.
It was like having a chat. It was so relaxing.
Like,
And how do you think you came across?
Look, I had no doubts in my mind that you would be here. It'd be just grand.
I loved it. And as I say, people might agree with what I said, but at the same time, I'm open to debate anytime. And I say
people agree with anything I was there.
But it's another one. Maybe sometimes if someone has views on it, I'd love to sit down and debate with it.
Well, that'd be super.
And I'm honest about that. If someone comes in and says, "No, I want to debate you about a hotel, and I want to debate you about whatever it is," I have no bother with that.
Well, that's how you should do it.
And maybe they might and they might say to me, look, they might give me a good idea, and I say, well, I couldn't disagree with that, and I'll try to bring it forward, and that's what it's all about.